Okay, Jim wanted to.
Thank everybody for your birthday wishes. I hear there were a lot of them.
And I told him about the train.
Oh, the train? Yeah, it wasn't that close.
It was that close. The rail almost hit the front of the truck.
Oh, we stopped.
Barely. Well, hello. Today is Tuesday, October 12th, and we do have some birthdays today. Today is Brandy Granton's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brandy. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Jeannie S. Jeanne. I'm thinking it's Jenny. Jeannie. Well, Jeannie, you're going to get a song no matter what. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jeannie. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Teresa May. Teresa, may I sing to you? I'm sure she gets that a lot. She's an old joke, Sandy. Everybody says it. Nothing new. But it's Teresa's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Teresa. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Boy, you would have thought I was a teenage boy with my voice just cracked. We're going to do that again, Teresa, because that was awful. And I am not a teenage boy. By no means. I'm not even a teenage anything at this point. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Teresa. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Okay, and then we have to clarify something, get something cleared up. I sang to Margaret McGuire yesterday because she was in, oh my goodness, I must have a teenage boy trapped inside my body here somehow because my voice keeps cracking and I don't know why. Anyway, yesterday I sang to Margaret McGuire because I had it in my calendar that it was her birthday. And so I sang to her. So this morning when I was looking at my Facebook, I saw that it was her birthday today. And so then I looked at my calendar and I have her in my calendar for both yesterday and today. So I am assuming that Facebook is not wrong, that I was wrong yesterday. So Margaret, I'm going to sing to you today. But you know what? If you didn't watch yesterday's video, go check out yesterday's video because I sang to you then too. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Margaret. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope all of you have a great birthday. But we also have an anniversary. Today is, I have Aunt Brian. Well, I know it's not Brian, Aunt. I'm going to have to look on my calendar. My own writing. I can't even read my own writing. I have Aunt Brian. I know Brian is right, but I know that the aunt. No, you know what? It's my writing. Look how bad my writing is. It's Ann. A-N-N. Ann. She's saying, why did you say an aunt? My name is Ann. Ann. A-N-N. Oh, you know why? Because I'm going to show you. Because, see, the T is so close. It looks like ant. Oh, Sister Mary Frances, she'd be coming with that ruler, whacking me on there with my handwriting, my penmanship. Ann and Brian Carey, it's your anniversary. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Happy, 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 happy anniversary. Happy, 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 happy anniversary. Well, I hope you have a happy anniversary, Ann and Brian. I know that Sister Mary Frances is into the great well beyond because she was really old. You know what? I always thought she was old, but I bet you she really wasn't. You know how nuns always looked old? They always look creepy too, walking around with their big old gowns. Because the nuns where I had, I forget what order they were from, but they wore the full black gown with the big rosary, like they could swing and lasso you if they wanted to and pull you in. Not that they ever did, because that would be sacrilegious, but you know what? I always thought that there was a possibility that they might swing that rosary around and grab a hold of me and pull me in. The ruler was enough, let me tell you. The ruler was enough. I should have been left-handed, but that was not allowed back in the 50s. You were not allowed to be left-handed. And oh, wow, Oh, I would get smacked. I get smacked a lot with that ruler. And she would sneak up. Sorry, I got like 5 birds just sitting on my deck, just looking at me. That must mean there needs food in their feeder, is the only thing I can think of. But anyway, I would just be like writing, and I would like lean over real close, and I'd have my hand like this so that they couldn't see, and then wacko, out of nowhere, I'd get hit with that ruler. The worst part is when they tell you to hold your hand out, which they did, and you'd hold your hand out, and then just when you thought it was coming, you'd move your hand back, because it was instinct. Oh, you got a double whack, because you flinched. So it was like, I don't know how they got away with being so mean, because they were really kind of mean. But then again, they were really kind of nice too. So, you know, it's just that's just a reputation, I guess, that they had. So we used to get, when we get in trouble in church, and then the priest would come in the room, and we'd all have to stand up and ask the priest to bless us. And so when we were bad in church and the priest would come in, we would all jump up really quick and ask to get blessed, because we knew he was coming in there to yell at us, which he always did. And then he'd always tell us how disappointed he was and how God would be disappointed that we didn't pay attention. And then when he left, the nun would give us so much extra work to do. You think we would have learned, but we didn't. But, you know, I only went there for 4 years, but I learned a lot in those 4 years, because I kind of breezed through when I went to public school for the next 2 or 3 years. I thought, well, why are we learning this? I've already learned this, you know. So I got a good education. My 2 boys went to Catholic school. Jimmy and Danny went to Catholic school, but then when we moved out to the suburbs, then they went to public school, because there wasn't a Catholic school nearby. But I think any private school is always going to give you a really good education, because, you know, you get what you pay for in life, and that's what you do. So it was raining really hard this morning. Actually, it came in through the windows, so I had to go around and mop up a little bit of rain. I didn't think it was blowing, but obviously it was, because I had rain I had to clean up. And then Jim and I watched a couple shows on TV before he went to work. I'm still kind of feeling kind of bloated from the, what do you call it? Well, we went to the Texas Roadhouse on Sunday, and then we went out for breakfast yesterday and had the pancakes. But, so this morning I'm just kind of feeling, So, but I'm still on the track. I don't think I'm going to have my 0.3 loss. Like I was hoping I would have a 0.3 loss and be into the 20s, but I really do feel that I'm going to at least stay the same, if not lose like maybe a 0.1 or a 0.2, only because when I eat out, it tends to, the sodium kind of clings on to me, or the additives, the preservatives they use kind of hang on to me. And then when we came home from Jimmy's house, we did stop at McDonald's, and so I did get my quarter pounder with cheese meal with a Coke. So between all of that. But I'm doing really well today. I'll show you my breakfast. Okay, for breakfast, we're going to have the leftover pancakes from yesterday, and some eggs and berries, a banana and a grapefruit. Today is Tuesday, October 12th. My quote is, if you believe in yourself, anything is possible. 0 for my egg, berries, banana, grapefruit tea. 5 points for the pancakes, because I'm not really sure how to figure them out. So, I don't have any weeklies left. I used them all this past couple days. My cold pancakes, Jim was just sitting there watching me eat those, and he's going, oh my gosh, why don't you at least try to put them in the air fryer to heat up? And I go, no, these taste pretty good. These taste pretty good. I do like them. But I didn't know how to figure out how many points there were. There was no syrup on it or butter. It was just a plain pancake with the pecans, however you say it in your part of the world. So I had that. And then for a snack, which I didn't film, I had a sugar-free Jell-O. And then maybe an hour later, I had a bowl of watermelon. So I'm pretty much on track. For dinner, when I go to Texas Roadhouse, I always order the ribs and chicken. And I never eat the chicken. I bring the chicken home and eat it like the next day. But since we went to Jimmy's property yesterday, I was planning on having the chicken for my dinner last night. But then Jim wanted to stop at McDonald's. And I should have just said no. I know I should have just said no. But I love McDonald's. So I'm going to have the piece of chicken for dinner tonight with some cottage cheese and some pineapple. And then I did bring home an extra dinner roll. So I looked it up on the tracker already, and even with the barbecue sauce, it said that the chicken was only going to be 2 points. But I think I'm going to count it as 4, because it does seem like a lot of barbecue sauce that's on it. I know the chicken was grilled, so you're fine with that. And then the dinner roll, I didn't bring any butter home with it, so I'm just gonna have the roll, which is 4 points. So I'm gonna have like a 11-point dinner. And I think my breakfast ended up being 5, so it's 16. So I'll still stay within my points. I'm trying to eat a little lighter to kind of make up for the overeating over the last couple days. But I told you I was going to talk. I know my clocks go off. I don't really pay that much attention to them. I don't really hear them and then people say, well, why do you have them if you don't hear them? It's like, I think it's just to annoy people when they come over, because they go, oh, how can you put up with that? And then like a lot of times when my kids come over and it's just really, really quiet, you can hear all my clocks ticking. I think when I'm in the back room filming, a lot of times you might hear that's my clock. I have a clock. Well, I have more than one clock in that back room, but that's one clock that's kind of ticking noise. So listen, when you see me in the back room, you can always hear a clock ticking in the background. It's not a bomb. It's not. It's a clock. But like my wall of clocks, they all tick at a different tick, like like that. So you can always hear that. And then my grandfather clock goes off. Jim got tired of hearing he has a mantle clock that was his dad's. He doesn't like hearing that, and so he doesn't wind it up, so it just has the same time on it all the time. Since it's his dad's clock, I don't touch the clock because I know how to wind it, I know how to do all of that, but heaven forbid I would be the one that would break it, because it has such sentimental value for Jim. Jimmy's going to get it when Jim passes away, because it's already in the, I know we call it the death book. I know somebody said we should name it the inheritance book, but we kind of like the death book because that's just who we are. So we have all kinds of stuff listed in there. And if they see something they want in the death book, my name, put it by the death book, so if they're the first one to claim it. So if we ever come up with something new, whoever sees it first, if they really want it, claims it for the death book, which really, I know, is a horrible name for the book, but it's the type of humor my family has. It really is. So, I told you that I was going to talk about happiness all week. That was going to be my theme for the week. But I'm thinking that we're into the third day, and there's not too many things you can say about happiness that you can't cover in one day. It's just, don't worry, be happy. Kind of sums it all up. I realize that sometimes there's issues that you can't be happy. I understand that completely. Sometimes you might have a depression issue, which I completely understand, that it's not a sadness, it's an illness, and so you take medication for it. And so sometimes it's a little hard to be happy. But I think in the whole scope of things, if you really try to look at your day each day and try to find a little bit of happiness, I've told this before, like when my father passed away, a memory that brings a smile to my face. There's so many memories that I have that bring a smile to my face. But it's just the last Christmas gift I ever got from my father was like when he knew he was dying. He had a coin collection, and he had like an angel from God nurse. She was a hospice nurse. I don't think they called them hospice nurse back then. My father died in 1983. But she was the one that was dedicated to taking care of my dad in the hospital. And he had my mother bring all of his coins in for some reason. And so he gave them to her. Her name was Mary. And he gave them to Mary, who just happened to have my sister has the same name. That's probably why I remembered it. But no, I remembered it because she was like an angel. She really was. She was like an angel from God. And my mother's hospice nurse name was Shelley, angel from God. But anyway, people that put a happiness in your heart, you remember them, even when they're just like incidental in your life. I mean, not that they were incidental. I don't mean it like in that sense, but not on your daily basis. They're not part of your family, one of your close friends. It's just someone you're dealing with, or that's dealing with you, in the case may be. But anyway, he gave these coins to my father's nurse. He gave them to the nurse, and she went and had them made into little keychains for us, and came back, had them all wrapped really beautifully. My mother didn't even know anything about it. My mother just knew that my dad wanted his coins. If you knew my dad, my dad had a coin collection, and he would just bring it out, and he had like those little books. I don't know if they still have the books, but you'd have the books, and you'd look like for a certain penny, and you'd put it in the book with his penny, and then and he had pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. And I think he had a $50 one too. But anyway, he would sit at the table and he'd bring out these coins and he'd pop them and he'd feel them and he'd touch them and he'd clean them and he'd put them back in. And he was just like, it was his thing. And so I'm quite sure that he probably just asked my mother to bring the coin collection in because he wanted to hold on to it one more time. And so my mother brought it in, had no knowledge of why he wanted it. And then on the day, Christmas Eve, we gave my father last rites, and he was not conscious. And the nurse came in with our presents, and we opened up our presents, and she said, "Your dad wanted to make sure you got this for Christmas." So I know that I look like I'm going to cry, but I don't cry. I know. I'm going to hear you all, blah, 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 blah. I just think it's a sign of weakness to cry in public, unless it's a funeral. It's just who I am. I can't help it. That's just who I am. My brothers and sisters are completely different. I don't know if it was because I was raised the oldest and I was supposed to be the strongest and take care of everybody and not show any signs of weakness because I was the one that was supposed to be in charge. I don't know. For as much as I don't cry in public, Denise will cry in public. So oldest, youngest, different ways you were raised. But my mom was just as shocked. My mom was just as shocked because she just didn't believe it. So even though that was a very sad memory, and I had to really fight myself not to cry, it brings happiness and joy to me. It just really brings happiness and joy to me to know that my father thought of us even though he knew he wouldn't be around for Christmas. He just knew he wasn't going to be around for Christmas, but he wanted to make sure that we got our Christmas gifts, if that was it. Or his final gift that he gave us. So my father ended up living until the 30th of December, but he never regained consciousness. But it was a sad day, obviously, but I look back at it with some happiness because I know I always try to find some happiness in each sad moment because you can always find some sort of happiness in some kind of sad moment. But I never used the keychain because I'm so afraid I'm going to lose it. So I have it in a safe deposit box, which every once in a while I'm like my dad, I'll take it out and just hold it and look at it and just, and it's a really old coin. It was from 1905 or something like that? It had no significant meaning. It was just like he just picked an old coin and gave it to us. And then like my mother was a gambler, like Kenny Rogers, my mother, but she never knew when to hold them. She never knew when to fold them. Like you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. My mother never knew how to fold them. It was just, but anyway, my mother loved going to the casino. She loved playing the slot machine. She loved playing craps, blackjack, all of that stuff. And when we had her funeral, sad day. Before we closed the coffin, my nephew Steve, who used to bring her to the casino all the time, I know more, but my family always believes that you got to have money in your pocket when you're in the coffin. You just have to, because like my dad said, you don't know. No one's ever come back to tell you if it was true, but you might need an entrance fee. So always have a couple bucks in your pocket just in case there's a cover charge. So you always got to make sure that there's money in their pockets when they're going. When you go to the grave, which I don't go because I don't believe that they're there, but if I ever do go because the family comes from out of town, I bring them to the grave. I always leave money on the grave because my dad always said, you leave some money on the grave just in case. I don't know how he thinks he's going to reach through the ground and get the money. I would bet 10 times out of 10, some little kids that are running around in the graveyard that are stuck there find the money and put it in their pocket. I don't care. But anyway, so Steve, just before we closed the coffin, put a whole bunch of poker chips into the coffin with my mother. And my mother had money in her pocket, just in case. Although I know my dad would have covered the cover charge, because he would have been meeting her at the gates. But anyway, when they closed the lid, and when they were lifting her to put her on the little cart thing, to wheel her into the church, as she was wheeling into the church, you could hear the coins, not the coins, but the chips falling and hitting the kerplunk, kerplunk, kerplunk on the bottom of the coffin because the jostling of the coffin. And so we were all sitting there crying and crying and crying, and then they come wheeling in with my mother, and you can hear all the chips falling. And we all started to smile because it was like my mother's final goodbye, just like my dad's coins was his final goodbye. And I have to compose myself. I'll be right back. Scene. I'm sorry. I know it's human nature. I know it. I hear you. But it's just that's who I am. That's who I am. But anyway, I am going to tell you the secret to happiness. The secret to happiness in this lifetime, because we all know what we don't need it. It's no secret what the next life's going to be, because that's going to be happy. There's no secret to that. But the secret to happiness in this lifetime is to live each day as if this is the best day of your life. Whether it's your best day or it's your worst day, live this day as the best day of your life, and just look for happiness. You've got to find joy in something, no matter how sad you are. Whether it's just a bird flying by, or a phone call from a friend, or a happy memory in a sad situation. The secret to happiness is to never, never, never stop looking. It's there. It's always there every single day. Maybe not for the whole day. You get whole 24 hours in the day, and maybe it's only for like 5 seconds of that day. But if you really look for that happiness, you will find it. Trust me, I know you will find it. Please, please, please look for the secret to happiness in your life every day, because it's there. It really is. So, I know I babbled on. That's just who I am. I'm probably going to find a different subject tomorrow, because, like I said, I'm kind of beating this one to death. It's like, don't worry, be happy. I mean, it's just be happy. Just really be happy. And hopefully I can put a smile on your face each day. Hopefully. That's my joy, to know that maybe just for one time during my video that I put a smile on your face. If I've put a smile on your face just one time through this video, that makes me happy. And just look, you guys just made me happy. Thank you so much. So next time you see anything, it'll be my food for dinner. Okay, for dinner, I'm going to eat the piece of chicken left over from my ribs and chicken the other day, and cottage cheese and pineapple, iced tea, and a sugar-free pudding for dessert with the roll. It's a 13-point dinner, 4 for the chicken. I'm sure it's probably less, but I'm just figuring it for 4. 4 for the dinner roll, 3 for the cottage cheese, 2 for the sugar-free pudding, and 0 for the tea and the pineapple. 13 points. I'm going to end the video now. As I said, I'm going to end the video now. So like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.